Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Jardon and I am a hypnotherapist, crystal healer, Reiki master, and I have been doing pendulum work my entire life. If you're new, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, appreciate you for coming back. So, today's video. I'll try not to get ranty because, yeah, this is not my first time recording this. So, anyways, forgiveness. Forgiveness is the conscious decision to let go of anger, resentment, hurt, any negative emotions that you feel towards somebody or about something, that somebody has done. And usually when you feel that way about said person, it's because they've done something, right? Something to take into consideration. By not forgiving that person, you're hurting yourself. You're holding on to it. It can interfere with, your whole body. If you've ever heard of like the idea of like internalizing something and it like causing chronic, irritation within your body, inflammation, pain, those kinds of things, you got to think about it. How is it also affecting, your mind? How is it affecting your spirit, your soul? Holding on to things hurts you. In the shadow work, you forgave yourself. And now in the self-discovery part, this is kind of where we realize where things outside of us are affecting us. And so part of that is forgiving other people, right? Something I want to make really clear, and this is kind of the release is twofold. So you release the emotions, right? Now you've got to decide whether to release that person or not. Sometimes that's not always, an option. So you release the emotions, you release the feelings, and sometimes you have to keep that person in your life. And that's just where, that whole don't go deep with that person. Don't, discuss your dreams, hopes, and wishes with them. Just keep them at arm's length. And now the releasing of said people who you've got to think about it. Is this person bringing value to my life? Are they helping on my healing journey? Or are they on the same shit, different day? Are they changing their patterns? Or are they constantly a victim? Right? The thing, like, I'm not a victim, okay? I refuse to be a victim. And that's why in that last boundaries video, I talked about like getting rid of people. Because I refuse to be a victim. And if you're not going to change, if you're not actively changing yourself, clearly you're going to be on the same, pattern situation that you're currently on, right? So when you realize that, and that person is not, it's not going to be detrimental to lose them in your life, you might consider distancing yourself slowly but surely. For example, I had people who, I was really good friends with. I thought we were doing life together, and they got in the habit of asking me for things. I was doing things already, and I didn't see it as a big deal because it was just like, whatever, right? But then they started asking for money for things that, And it's like I saw how these people spent their money. Like, you could tell me a sob story. Hold on, real quick. Sorry, I forgot my water bottle in the kitchen and I got thirsty. But I saw the pattern, right? And so I started slowly distancing myself. And then they made it really easy by ghosting me. We had a weekly thing that we were doing. And I have my own assumptions on why they ghosted me, but all of a sudden, I'd already seen things, and I was like graduating school. I was, life was changing for me. And so I had an excuse as to why I couldn't, continue on. And it was like, "Oh yeah, I'll text you. I'll let you know when I'm ready to, I just don't have time to go do, whatever I needed to do to be able to, continue our little thing that we had going on." And I just never spoke to these people again. I saw the whispering to each other in my house. Like, what the fuck could you possibly be whispering to each other about? Like, it made me real uncomfortable. It like put my little like hairs on the back of my neck stood up. My little spidey senses went. And previously, you know, they would say one thing to me, but then act like, "Oh, well, that's not like, are you crazy?" Like, in around other people, right? You know, and I saw that. And then on top of just everything else, I was like, this is the perfect time because I had been like not, wanting to do our weekly thing for months. It just gave me anxiety, and I knew that I was going to be stuck, cleaning up after the children because, well, I saw how they lived. So, not judging, just saying that doesn't work for me. Like, I already knew that there was no way that we would live together because I can't live like you live, you know? So, that being said, I made the conscious effort to just release them. And if that meant ghosting them, it was just returning the favor. I meet energy. So, how are we acting today? You know, and it was too many things that just accumulated, and they don't know this. They, unless they see this video, well, hi, by the way, you know who you are if you're seeing this video. But they had no idea what I knew, what I saw, what I was, paying attention to. And they made it really easy when they ghosted me for 2 weeks. Like, I had text and asked, "Hey, are we on for this, today or whatever?" And when you don't respond to me, cool. Next week, I didn't say anything. Nothing was said to me. Cool. That's when you're done. Other people just came at me like, I now understand love bombing really well. And so I'll just shut it down. And if I don't have a reason to talk to you, why am I going to talk to you? Right. It's just the more you use your discernment, the more you trust your own intuition, the better off you are. Like, I see everybody at this point. And I don't say anything. I just let them go. Slowly but surely, just kind of keep pulling back, keep pulling back. There's other people who tried to manipulate me. And I didn't get how it was manipulation for a minute. But it just made me really uncomfortable. And so once I saw it for what it was just like, yeah, I'm too busy for you, right? That was another example of like the manipulation. And it's not that I don't like these people. It's just like I see their patterns, right? I see how they act, and I realize that they're doing nothing to actively change themselves. And I refuse to be a victim. I refuse to let people in my life that continue to prove to me that I don't matter, that they can't see my worth. And if they see it now, it's a little too late for that, right? We're not on the same, like, I'm not where I was when we were friends. I've done my healing work. I have worked really hard to get where I am. And knowing that you haven't done anything or that you're still doing the same thing, I know that that would be detrimental to me and where I'm going. And if you're happy there, stay there, right? I'm not trying to control anybody else. I'm not trying to, be that person. But it's just like, I can't. I personally cannot, because I refuse to be a victim. And the fact that you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and my intuition is screaming at me, I just rather keep my distance. I rather not be your friend. I rather not, continue to conversate with you. Some people have not pushed me to that point. Are they close? Mm, not necessarily that they're close. It's just like, maybe they are close. And there are others who it's like, I already know that one thing comes out your mouth and something else is going to be done. So, but I have to deal with you, right? And so I deal with it accordingly. We don't chat. We don't, just because somebody comes back and tries to apologize doesn't mean that they're allowed access into my life, right? Some people are really convincing though. And until you have that discernment, until you're able to, I guess, trust yourself, and that's kind of what the whole, self-discovery and shadow work was. It was learning to trust yourself, right? And so until you can actually do that, and it takes practice, you're going to see things, and you don't have to be a victim of it. You can say that I am learning. You're learning your lessons, you know? And when you do finally get to the point where you release that person, you can release them and hope that they live a beautiful, happy, healthy life. It's no longer your responsibility. Like, you're no longer part of their life. So even if they tried to put the responsibility off on you, it wouldn't be, right? It just, it's sad. It's really sad because you think that, when you're a kid, you think, oh, the adults have it together. They got their life together, this, that, and the other. And you realize they don't. They're winging it too. Like, and a lot of people carry a lot of different things that have them acting a certain way. And until they make that conscious decision to change it and not blame it, they're going to continue, right? So, someone is on demon time and has not changed. Keep them away from you. If you don't have that option, what is it called? Stonewalling. Keep the conversation to the point and don't include anything else. a giant, massive water bottle. But yeah. I'm just thinking of like all the times I've been so sad because I watch people get walked on. Like I don't feel sorry for myself. Like that's done, that's over with, right? But I just think of all the people who I see get walked on, all the people who have become so hard because they were so kind and somebody came in and messed it up, right? Somebody came in and hurt them. Somebody came in and changed them. Ooh, hold on. Sorry, I didn't think you wanted to hear me cough. I am with the allergies and the stuff is dripping from the nose, down my throat. But anyways, shadow to light work, an intentional journey of healing, self-discovery, and purpose. And then on the back, you get the glimpse of what's going on. And it's not going to focus. But my website is asktohypnotherapy.com if you are interested in either working with me, learning what I tend to specialize in. I do have like something I created because I was really into it and I think it's cool. It's called Timeless Renewal. But yeah, that's in there on my website. But I shall see you next week. And I think we're going to be doing more purpose-based stuff next week. So I'll see you later.